Mike Michalowicz, The Money Habit, the worry-free way to financial independence. Money has a way of slipping through your fingers. You check your bank balance in the morning and feel fine. By the evening, after a few small purchases, a subscription renewal, and a grocery run, that sense of control has faded. Nothing dramatic happened, yet there's a gnawing sense of uncertainty. Most of us respond by trying to clamp down. We build budgets, track every last expense, and promise to be more disciplined. It works for a week, maybe 2. Then life gets in the way. A busy day leads to a quick takeaway. A stressful week justifies a small splurge, and the plan begins to fall apart. But it doesn't have to be this way. Instead of straitjacketing yourself with strict rules, you can shape your environment so that better decisions happen naturally. Imagine opening your banking app and instantly seeing what you can spend on essentials, what's set aside for fun, and what's protected for the future. No guessing, no guilt, just clarity. The rent's covered, your savings are growing steadily in the background, and there's even a fund to cover life's unexpected outlays. As we'll see in this blink, this kind of change starts with a simple idea. Work with your habits, not against them. Over time, small shifts build momentum. Stress fades, decisions feel easier, and money stops being a source of tension and starts becoming a tool you can rely on. Budgets fail when they fight human behavior. Most of us try to manage money with a budget. We plan our spending, track it in a spreadsheet or an app, and promise ourselves that we'll stick to it. Sounds sensible, but it rarely works. The problem isn't effort or intelligence. The issue is deeper. It's about hardwired human behavior. Budgets demand that you follow a script, just like a strict diet. You start strong, but sooner or later, there's always some reason to go off script. You're too tired, or too busy, or too stressed. Small exceptions creep in. Good intentions are replaced by quiet avoidance, and the plan fades. The alternative is to work with the grain of habit. Think about exercise. It's easier to skip a run when your sneakers are in the closet. Placing them someplace you'll see them, or better yet, be forced to pick them up, makes it harder to bail on your commitment. When you literally trip over them on your way to the bathroom, you have to deal with your decision. Psychologists call these moments of friction commitment devices. The truth is, most people check their bank balance, not their budget. That's where the real decision point lies. If your system doesn't meet you there, it gets ignored. So a different structure works better. Instead of one account and one big number, you split your money into separate wallets. Each wallet has a clear job. Income flows in, then gets distributed across them. You'll need to create a few simple categories. Needs cover essentials like rent, groceries, and utilities. Wants pay for dinners out and cinema tickets. Dreams hold long-term goals, like a home or a big trip. Fix or future tackles debt or planned expenses like car repairs. Emergency is there for the unexpected. Now imagine you want to spend extra on a weekend away. You don't guess. You look at your wants wallet. If there isn't enough to cover the expense, you have to move money from somewhere else. Maybe you dip into the dreams wallet or take it out of emergency. The decision might be justifiable. It might not. Either way, The system forces you to think about the trade-off. In other words, you can still choose freely, but you can't choose blindly. This shift matters because money stress usually has more to do with uncertainty than the amount you have. When everything's sitting in one account, every decision feels loaded. That's what causes the hesitation, the second guessing, and the avoidance. Clear structures remove the noise, reducing the number of decisions you need to make each day. Instead of constant willpower, you rely on design. Knowing what season you're in sharpens financial decisions. Once your money system is set up with clear wallets, the next step is knowing how to use them. Life doesn't stay still. Priorities shift, and finances move through seasons, each with its own focus and rhythm. There are 4 core seasons: recover, fund, activate, and balance. You move between them over time, sometimes by choice, sometimes because life forces a change. Recover is the reset season. This is where you clean up the past. Debt is the main signal. Maybe your credit score is low, or you're dealing with overdue taxes or overdrafts. Or maybe you're paying interest on 3 credit cards while also trying to cover rent. Every month feels tight. In this season, extra money goes toward clearing those burdens. Progress may feel slow, but each payment creates breathing room. Fund is about building the future. In this season, you start directing money towards something meaningful. That could be a house deposit, a retirement pot, or a solid emergency cushion. Imagine setting aside a fixed amount each month for a future home. You might cut back on takeout or subscriptions to make that happen. In short, you accept less now to create something bigger later on. Activate is the season where you shift your focus to living. Money becomes a tool for experiences and time. Think about reducing work hours to focus on your health or a personal project. Income still covers your needs, but surplus money flows toward enjoyment and growth. You might invest in a course, upgrade your home, or finally take that trip you've been postponing. Finally, we have the balance season. This season is a combination of fund and activate. You enjoy today while still preparing for tomorrow. That could look like buying a good meal without guilt while also contributing to savings, or taking a holiday while still investing regularly. Every dollar has a role, and you feel steady rather than stretched. These seasons don't follow a fixed order. You can move from balance back to recover if something unexpected happens, like a job loss or a major expense. Or you can shift from fund to activate once a goal is reached. The key is awareness. When you know your season, your decisions become clearer. You stop asking vague questions like, "Can I afford this?" Instead, you ask, "Does this fit my current focus?" That simple shift removes confusion and replaces it with direction. Awareness transforms confusion into control. Once you have a sense of your financial season, the next step is to take a closer look at your numbers. You identify your season using simple signals, not detailed analysis, so you already have a rough idea of where you stand. Now you build on that first read. This deeper review refines your understanding, shows where your money actually goes, and reveals any gap between intention and reality. Start with your monthly usable income. This is the money that actually lands in your account after taxes and deductions. If your salary says $10,000, but your bank shows $6,800, it's the second number that matters. Add up all reliable income in your household, then divide by 12 to get a monthly figure. Say a couple earns a combined $122,000 a year after taxes. That gives them just over $10,000 each month to work with. That number becomes the foundation for every decision that follows. Let's start with total spending. Gather a few months of bank and credit card statements. You don't need to be painstakingly precise here. Just aim for a solid estimate. List everything: rent, groceries, transport, subscriptions, nights out, holidays, gifts, and so on. Spread irregular costs across months so they feel real. Spending $1,500 on trips over 3 months, for example, becomes $500 per month. Next, sort each expense into one of your existing wallets. Remember, needs cover essentials. Wants include everyday treats. Dreams hold big goals and lifestyle upgrades. Fix or future deals with debt or planned repairs. And your emergency wallet is there to build a safety net. Things get interesting when patterns appear. You might notice a large car payment sitting in dreams while your emergency fund is empty. Or a high gym fee hiding in wants that no longer feels worth it. These small details have an outsized effect on your finances, so take them seriously. Now comes the uncomfortable moment. You're going to see if your actual spending matches up with your intentions, the goal corresponding to your financial season. Are you spending heavily on dining out while carrying credit card debt? Or saving aggressively for the future without having any buffer for emergencies? Any mismatch here creates a jolt, which can feel frustrating or even embarrassing. But that reaction is normal. It signals that you're finally seeing things clearly. Having taken a clear look at where you are, it's time to adjust. Start by redirecting small amounts. That could mean canceling one subscription and moving that money into emergency savings, or pausing a luxury expense and doubling down on debt repayments. Each shift is a deliberate move, not a guess. This process builds awareness, and awareness reduces stress. When you know your numbers, decisions feel lighter. Start steering. Small barriers create big change. Debt isn't only a math problem. If it were, life would be a lot simpler. Like so many financial patterns, it's a behavior loop. If nothing changes, it keeps growing quietly in the background. The first move here is simple and decisive. Stop the cycle. You want to initiate a debt freeze. The aim isn't to pay everything off overnight, but to stop digging when you find yourself in a hole. Start by cutting spending hard and fast. This is a short, focused reset. Pause anything that's not essential. Subscriptions, restaurants, impulse buys, and the like all need to go. For now. If that sounds painful, and it often is, remember that it's ultimately easier to cut sharply for a short period than to make endless small compromises over years or even decades. Next, limit your access to credit. This step works because it changes your environment. If you have a high credit limit, you tend to drift toward it. Lowering that limit creates a boundary, forcing you to pause before spending. There are a couple of ways of going about this. You could call your card provider and reduce a $5,000 limit to, say, $2,000. That's $3,000 worth of temptation gone. Or you could temporarily deactivate a card. The account stays open, but you can't use it for new purchases. Remember the tip about leaving your sneakers on your path to the bathroom to remind you about your run? Restricting your credit card access is also a commitment device. It's there to help you act in line with what you actually want, especially when emotions run high or energy is low. The final step in your debt freeze is to tackle credit card interest rates. A quick phone call can reduce the cost of your debt. Ask for a lower rate and be ready to switch providers if needed. Even small reductions make a difference over time. Lower interest means more of your payment reduces the balance, instead of feeding the lender. This whole approach to debt changes your identity. You move from reacting to debt to controlling it. Most importantly, you stop adding to the pile and start clearing it with purpose. The hardest part is starting. Once you act, momentum builds, and each payment feels more meaningful than the last. The result? Psychological as well as financial relief, as debt shifts from a constant weight to a problem with an endpoint. Time compounds modest habits into serious wealth. After setting up your wallet system, understanding your season, and stopping the debt cycle, one final idea brings everything together. Small, consistent actions that create compounding results. Start with something simple. $1 a day, or around $30 a month. It feels like nothing. Most of us spend that amount without thinking about it. Now look at what happens when that dollar is invested. Assume a modest and realistic return of about 4.75% per year. After 1 year, you have roughly $374. After 2 years, around $766. Not life-changing, easy to ignore. By year 5, though, you're at $2,060. Not really life-changing either, but it's starting to look like an amount that could make a real difference. Now stretch the timeline. After 10 years, that $1 a day grows to about $4,672. If you had simply saved the cash, you would have around $3,650. That's a difference of more than $1,000 without extra effort. Now keep going. After 20 years, the invested amount reaches roughly $12,185, compared to about $7,300 if you'd sewn all those dollar bills into a mattress. After 30 years, it climbs to over $24,000, more than double the roughly $10,950 saved without growth. At 50 years, the gap becomes dramatic. Around $75,000 from investing versus about $18,000 saved. The habit stays the same. It's time that's doing the heavy lifting. Now we scale all of this slightly. Save $20 a week, or $2.85 a day. After 30 years, that grows to roughly $69,000. Push it to $100 a week. After 30 years, you're looking at over $346,000. Half a century, meanwhile, gets you to over $1 million. All we've done in these examples is regularly put a little money into a regular savings account. That's what these numbers are about, showing what steady action can do. And your wallet's system helps you achieve this. Your dreams wallet feeds your contributions, and your emergency fund prevents you from dipping into them. Meanwhile, your season decides how aggressively you invest. Automation makes things even more straightforward. Set up a transfer that moves money into an investment account the moment income arrives. Once it's up and running, you remove hesitation and second-guessing. Early on, progress might feel slow, and you might question whether it's worth it. That's normal. The turning point comes later, when growth starts to stack on itself. Small inputs, repeated daily, become powerful over time. Stay consistent, trust the process, and let your habits build the future for you. In this Blink to the Money Habit by Mike Michalowicz, you've learned how to work with the grain of habit to manage your finances. Simple systems work better than strict budgets because they match how people actually behave, making it easier to stay consistent over time. Clear money buckets create visibility and remove daily guesswork, and understanding financial seasons helps to guide priorities and sharpen decisions. Meanwhile, clarity and honest numbers reveal patterns and highlight where change matters. With your money system in place, small daily investments can be used to build momentum, compound steadily, and turn disciplined habits into lasting financial freedom. Okay, that's it for this Blink. We hope you enjoyed it. If you can, please take the time to leave us a rating. We always appreciate your feedback. See you in the next Blink.